Hi guys, welcome to tutorial 2. In this tutorial we're going to take the collage composition and on the same size piece of watercolour paper with the same grid layout, we are going to roughly sketch the shapes that have been created by the collage. We are doing this so we can observe more closely the lines, the dynamism of the shapes that we've made, the colours, the tones of those colours, where the highlights are, where the depth is. I'm not aiming to exactly reproduce the collage. In fact, I'm going to stick far more to the grid system. I particularly wanted to take into account when sketching this out the concept of the PowerPoint areas on the grid. To recap what that actually means, it's by placing some of our shapes along the lines or at the intersections, we're creating a more dynamic and engaging image. I also know that within this sketch, I want to leave in more negative space, particularly in that central area. I do want to stress at this point, these are more practice tutorials and you can skip any part of this process. In fact, I've already recorded tutorial 3 and I'm not entirely sure how useful that's going to be for me in my final composition, but you may get better results than I do when you come to do tutorial 3. As you may have realised, I am doing these exercises in my commonplace book, which we were using to make a commonplace book with a more art theme. If you have missed what the commonplace book is about and how we're using it in Art Tribe, the first tutorial on the commonplace book has those details for you. Having done some light shading and tonal representation of the collage off camera, I've decided that I want to make that stronger. So I have my Stabilo pencil for the darker areas of the observational drawing. So while I'm shading this in on the camera, I thought I would treat you to a bit more summary research of what I discovered about Vortism. In the first tutorial, we discussed the 4 basic principles of geometric abstraction, the machine aesthetics, the dynamic compositions, and the bold colours. And this is something we do need to remember, apart from the bold colour, because of course we're using old masters, when we've done all our exercises and we come to do the final piece. So now I thought I'd take you through some famous artists from the Vortism movement, starting with Wyndham Lewis, who wrote our 4 basic rules in his manifesto in 1914. His works often depict urban scenes and industrial landscapes, and he combines the geometric abstraction with the machine aesthetics. Next on my list is another British artist, David Boonberg. He embraced Vortism, particularly in his exploration between the relationship of man and machine. He often depicted very industrial subjects in his works. In tutorial 1, we talked about how bending the rules is something that I particularly do, and Edward Wadsworth was another Vortist artist who took the manifesto and then did his own thing with it. He mainly focused on maritime themes and he created abstract compositions inspired by ships, waves and other nautical elements. One reason I'd probably never heard of Vortism is not only did I not study art at school, but also it was an incredibly short-lived movement. Here you can see I've increased the intensity of the shading and removed some of the lines and grids and increased my negative space areas. And now I just need to see that it will actually fit on the page under the original collage and of course glue it in. And that's basically going to be it for today, and I will catch you next time, where we will be using this larger offcut because it nicely fits my page.